Welcome back to the Financial Shepherd Happy Hour. My name is Joshua Casey Garland, certified financial planner, owner of Shepherd Wealth Management. Here with our really good friend, video editing genius, Ezra Kellerman.
Consigliere.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show, Ez.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
How was your week?
Well, great until today.
Yeah. Well,
and, what's wrong with you people?
That's why we're here. The reason why we do the show, people first time watching the happy hour, we do a full-blown podcast every 2 weeks. But on Fridays, we kind of like to summarize what happened this week, why did it happen, and what you need to know and what we can potentially look forward to in the future. So really it was a rough day for the stock market today. It has everything to do with the Jackson Hole meeting, where all the Fed presidents got together and talking about the current economic environment that we're sitting in right now, how to handle the biggest risk, and that is inflation. That's what we've been hearing all year long. And right. Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, basically came out and said, hey, there's a lot more work to do in bringing inflation back down to our target range, around that 2 to 3% range. We'll see if that may change in the future. But that was the reason for all the volatility that we saw today. Basically, the NASDAQ was down almost 4% today. The Dow Jones was down 3%. The S&P 500 was down more than 3%. And for the entire week, as we really today kind of knocked the indices into negative territory. Yeah. Pretty much all the indices were down almost 3% across the board for this particular week after coming out of a pretty significant rally. So I know that you mentioned, like, you know, what's wrong with everybody that's out there in the stock market. I don't think that any of this was a surprise at all.
No, we knew the rally wasn't going to last. But everybody's acting like inflation suddenly went up like a fart in the wind just because we had a couple of good weeks. Like there's not more work to do.
I mean, inflation did come down, right? It was over 9. It came back down to around 8.5. So that's nice to see. However, we're going to get more inflation data coming up here in September. And even though it did come down noticeably, and everybody kind of got excited about that, there still is a lot of work to do. We're still at 40-year high inflation. Yes, that is the biggest risk in the market. We've talked about it, you know, all year long. And now you're also starting to see commodities like energy, oil, natural gas, all of those commodities have really rallied significantly this week after, you know, basically when the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow had 4 straight weeks of positive returns, energy was kind of in the tank. Yeah. Gave up a ton of gains. It was nice to have, you know, other sectors of the S&P 500 participate in that rally and retract 50% of the losses over that 4 weeks. But now we're kind of getting back to what I would call the reality that we were in during the 4-week rally. Yeah, we still had super high inflation then. We still have all kinds of issues that we're trying to deal with. Yeah, supply chain is getting better, but it's still not perfect. We still have geopolitical risk going on. We got a midterm election coming up. And by the way, Ez, I don't know if you heard the news. I'm sure that you did, but you've already paid off your student loans. But the United States government has signed into law that they're going to go ahead and basically wipe away $10,000 worth of student loan debt to every borrower out there that does have student loans. And in some cases, maybe up to $20,000 if you had a Pell Grant. Yeah, you know, I really appreciate that. It's great. I'm sure it was real hard for them to find that 10 grand each. We were, you know, couldn't get a little higher for that for some of the people that are struggling. But it's happy to see is one of, you know, campaign promise. A lot of people were expecting it. Couldn't have come sooner. Couldn't have come later. Yeah, I mean, it was something that he talked about, you know, coming into his presidential campaign. And, you know, I know a lot of people, because I brought this topic up, I don't know how many months ago now, on our bigger podcast show that we do. And I think this is going to be the main topic next week. So if you're into, you know, everything that's going on with the student loan debt program and how that may affect things in the economy, tune into next week's show. Yeah, that's going to probably be the main point of topic here. But for all of those folks that have an issue with what's going on here, I can understand why. As you've already paid off all of your student loan debt, I still have some student loan debt. I know a whole bunch of friends of mine that are still paying off their student loans. I would not be in the seat that I'm sitting in today without the education that I have. No question about it. I'm one of only, you know, a handful of folks that have graduated college, or even, you know, for that matter, get a graduate degree and all the other stuff that I've been able to do throughout my career. I would not be able to do what I do, and I absolutely love what I do. I'm sure that you probably don't want to pay extra taxes for those that are benefiting from, you know, this reduction in student loan debt. However, there have been a lot of instances in history where the United States government has bailed out the auto industry, the airline industry. I can go on, and we'll have that conversation. We'll have that conversation next week. And I get it from both sides. I'm a taxpayer too. I completely understand it. I get the precedent that's being set here, but it is in fact something that's happening. So I look forward to having that deeper conversation with folks, coming up here next week when we do our bigger podcast show. So look forward to that. And of course, we're looking forward to not only additional data points coming out next week. We'll kind of see what the market does over the weekend with everything that they heard today from Jerome Powell. But every indicator that I have is a buy signal for clients. And that's a big part of what we've been doing over the last 5 days. And this week is actually reallocating certain positions, buying into the pullback that we saw this week. We'll probably see a little bit more of that coming into the month of September. But when we get that inflation data, I think that's really going to be the crux as to whether or not we'll start to see the significant rally that I would expect to see coming into October, because this really was one of the shorter bull markets that we saw leading up to 2022. The bear market has lasted around 164, 165 days at this point, so it's getting fairly close to its historical average. But if the bull market is supposed to last almost 1,300 days, and it only lasted about 650 days leading up to 2022, I would expect the bear market to also not go the 280 days that it typically would average in a bear market year. So I'm very much looking forward to what I've been talking about all year long, is probably a fairly significant rally in the markets beginning sometime in the month of October. But I do expect a little bit more pain to come here. So that's why we've made some of the rebalancing decisions that we've made here. But
absolutely,
that was the big highlights. I know there's a couple other things. One, we're going to make a big announcement as far as I hinted at this last week. I got to spend some time in Hazard, Kentucky. If you guys have been following the news at all, Hazard, Kentucky, beautiful part of the state of Kentucky, but not a whole bunch of opportunity really there since the coal mining industry kind of significantly got reduced with all the clean energy efforts that were going on across the United States and across the world. But a lot of great people there that were significantly negatively impacted by the flood that they saw there. I had the opportunity to spend just one day there kind of helping out and cleaning up. And we're going to make a big announcement. I have a partner. I want to share all of that with everyone next week to try to raise a significant amount of money. The goal is going to be $20,000.
Yeah,
and
do it.
Shepherd Wealth is going to make a 10% matching contribution of whatever it is that we raise. So it's kind of a little bit of a hint.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to doing that. It's a big part of our mission here. As a company, we're into performance, purpose, and passion. Obviously, performance is self-explanatory. We're here to perform for clients. We're very passionate about what we do. As you can probably tell from all the shows that we've been doing throughout the last 18 months. But our purpose is to do more than just make money for others, make money for ourselves, and have a really strong financial situation to get you through whatever it is: college, buying your first home, retirement, estate planning, what have you. We want to be able to make a bigger impact here in our community and around the world. So right here in our backyard, we have the opportunity to do that. I look forward to sharing more details of how we're going to raise that money, where it's going to go to, and all that fun information. So I think at this point, Ez, you wanted to give a quick shout out.
Yeah. As you might be able to tell from our wonderfully dapper setting, we're back at Pensive Distillery, 720 Monmouth in Newport, Kentucky. They're actually going to be a part of our future plans, some fundraising for the folks in Eastern Kentucky. But we just want to say thanks for having us back. We're in their upstairs facility, which is currently still being kind of worked out as far as integrating into a part of the bar. But definitely come by here. Future happy hours as well. Ask Joshua questions live. Get yourself a nice beverage and some food of your choice. We just want to say thanks for Pensive for having us back.
Yeah, food and drinks, excellent here. If you haven't had a chance to check out Pensive Distillery in Newport, Kentucky, off of Monmouth Street, this is absolutely a spot to hang out at. You can definitely find a pretty good atmosphere. Oh, yeah. I know that we were here right around a Reds game. I'm sure it's pretty exciting around the Bengals as they get ready to kick off here. So we'll be around for all that. We'd love for you all to come out to Pensive Distillery with us during the happy hour. We'll share some good times and also be able to answer some questions that you may have.
Absolutely. And for you pros, they open at noon. So
well, this has been great as another successful happy hour, I think. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to bring any beverages upstairs yet because of licensing. They have to have the licenses for up here. But it is nice and quiet for all you folks that love the background of Pensive Distilling and wanting a better audio sound. Well, we're up here, at least for now, until they get that license. But we're going to go downstairs now and enjoy the rest of our Friday happy hour. So I hope you all do the same. Don't forget to check out next week's bigger podcast, the Financial Shepherd podcast. We need a lot of cool stuff, including all the stuff going on with student loans. So I hope you'll stay tuned. If you got any questions, reach out 513-630-2664. It's been a pleasure. Again, my name is Joshua Casey Garland, certified financial planner, owner of Shepherd Wealth Management, here with our video editing genius, Ezra Kellerman. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday and have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.